The hard-hitting gentlemen take center stage. Semi-final volleyball action coming to you from the Inares Sports Arena in Pasig City as the Systema Smashers face the Giligan Sisig Kings for the right to play in the penultimate round here in the men's division of the Philippine Superliga Grand Prix 2013. Maraming salamat po for joining us. James Velasquez on hand, joined by the lovely Miss Anne Remulla and Ricky Flores will complete your courtside crew. Semi-finals action, and you can expect these teams to really go all out in their match today.
That's right, and of course, one of these teams, for them, it's actually payback time today. Of course, they want to get that win over Systema.
As we look at the standings in the men's division, we can see that we have had a lot of competitive matches. These two will, whoever wins in this match will face whoever wins between the PLDT MyDSL Speed Boosters and the Baybank Tigers.
That's right, but again, today is an all-important game for both Systema and Giligans. What they want is to get that advantage over the other team. So today they have to play their hearts out and really win in a very convincing manner.
You know, I've covered some of these games between the two teams, and these are two very explosive offensive teams, and I'm going to be really excited on what they can bring in this match. The last time that they faced each other, or as we look at the previous results, this November 23, 2013, Systema getting that against the Giligan Sisig Kings. You know, a lot of factors could have contributed to that, well, for lack of a better term, a drubbing by Systema. But for Systema, would they have a psychological edge in this match?
Well, I think yes. For one, they are the team that actually beat Giligans. And with that, looking at this grudge match, we can see that the top players that we should watch out for are Rocky Honrade, Angelo Espiritu, and Patrick John Rojas for Systema. And for Giligans, it's JP Torres, Salvador Depante, and Edget Mabayad. So these three players from both squads, they are expected to perform and really deliver the points for both squads.
Well, the offensive trio for Systema, they were consistently deadly. JP Torres and company for Giligans, they tried to spark a comeback, but it was too little too late. And dito natin makikita kung makakabawi nga ba itong Giligans against Systema. But now, let's welcome Ricky Flores in our conversation. Go ahead, Ricky.
You know, James and Ann, it was a little painful, but somebody had to do it. I had that talk with Coach Frank about their last game against Systema, and he said, you know, the players just weren't physically ready for it. It was a Saturday, it was traffic outside. A lot of the players were late, but today, he says, everybody's early, everybody was able to warm up, and he made a promise to his team that they will get their revenge today. And now on Systema side, Coach Kim and his boys are definitely not taking this game lightly. They're focusing on blocking today, so be prepared to see a lot of that. Para daw talagang mahirapan magpasok ng bola ang Giligan. So it should be a very exciting game, James and Ann.
Thank you, Ricky. You can look at it both ways. A psychological edge for Systema or an axe to grind for the Giligan Sisig Kings. They will face off next.
The officials for this semifinal matchup. First referee, Mr. Liberato Benito Jr., national referee. Our second referee is Mr. Danilo Bongkinki, national referee. And now let's meet the starters for Systema Tooth and Gum Care, the Smashers. Wearing jersey number 2, PJ Rojas. At number 4, Dexter Clamor. At number 5, Jello Espiritu. At number 9, Rocky Honrade. At number 12, AJ Pareja. At number 18, Chris Macasayet. Libero is number 15, Anojan Banyaga. Head coach is Kim Rebo. And now the starting lineup for the Giligan Sisig Kings. Wearing jersey number 1, Roland Tonkin. At number 3, team captain John DePante. At number 5, Jack Lokiao. At number 6, Edjet Mabayad. At number 10, JP Torres. At number 15, Kitros Teocampo. Libero is number 11, Jay Chua. Head coach is Frank Mauricio.
Whenever you cover men's volleyball, you can expect explosive action. And when these two teams last met, it was Systema taking the victory against JP Torres and the rest of Giligans. And you can bet that they have not forgotten that last loss. Rocky Andrade mean mugging his way to the best player of the game honors. And you can expect Ejet Mabayad, the rest of Giligans, to try and silence the rest of Systema tooth and gum care. Set number 1. Thank you so much for joining us in the exclusive coverage of Solar Sports, the 2013 Philippine Superliga Grand Prix. We are coming to you from the Inares Sports Arena, Pasig City. First service error from AJ Pareja. A little too much on that one.
Again, we know that Giligan's really coming into this game, and their mind is actually set on getting a revenge over Systema.
Chris Makasay putting the first point on the board for Systema. In that last game that I was fortunate enough to cover at, a lot of the Gilligan's players actually, I think it was a report from Ricky Flores, that a lot of them were caught up in traffic. I was actually caught up in traffic, and they weren't able to properly warm up. And that showed in the early goings of the game until the rest of, until JP Torres and John Depante were able to put their offense together. Gilligan's really struggled because Systema always had an answer to every run that they put.
And actually, you know, not being able to warm up properly really affects your game. I mean, normally for these guys, you're used to a routine, and the mere fact that you're actually running after time, nagmamadali ka and all these, it's really hard to get your act together when you're on the floor already.
And early on, I can see, just judging from the body language of Gilligan's, that they're fired up and they're ready to go. They are up by 2 points, 3 serving 1. Lamor dumps it over, but couldn't get the finish. All right, let's listen into Ricky Flores at courtside.
Now, you know, if there's one thing Coach Frank considers his team's weakness, it's actually chemistry. Most of his players are from, you know, FEU, UST, and he also has a couple of players from different colleges. So teamwork is something they've been constantly working on, and that's something they really need to pull this one from under Systema. And so far, they're looking pretty good. And speaking of Systema, James, I know that you've been dying to know what AJ Pareja was listening to pregame, and it delights me to report na same playlist siya, One Direction and EDM pa rin. James and Ann?
Excellent report by Ricky Flores. I was actually about to ask that. You know, that's part of your routine.
Exactly.
The stuff that you listen to pump you up before the game. I wonder what Ricky Flores listens to
Well,
pump herself up for
I heard her
covering
singing a
volleyball.
song earlier.
Okay.
Would be great if the rest of the viewers can actually hear it.
Maybe during the All-Star game. Ricky Flores can take center stage. 5 serving 2. Gilligan's with a 3-point lead against Systema. Make that 5-3 because of that service error by JP Torres.
Seeing early errors here at the service line for both teams.
Andrade on deck to serve. Depante with a cross-court set. Oh, powerful finish. And Ejet Mabayad will be on deck to serve. This is the start, I'm sure, that Coach Frank Mauricio has been looking for and asking for his boys to start strong and, you know, just make sure that they don't have to play catch-up like their previous games.
That's right. You get the if you get a comfortable lead, it's much better. You can actually pace yourself. You can dictate how you know, the game should go.
And I'm sure you know, Anne, how hard it is to play catch-up.
Because you know, one thing you have to think of is how to score those points. Another is how to catch up.
Timeout on the floor. Gilligan's up 8-3.
Severo gets her first goal.
Hi, I'm Cara Acevedo from the Patron Blaze Spikers. I'm inviting you to watch the Philippine Superliga Grand Prix, only here on Solar Sports.
You're still watching the PSL Grand Prix brought to you by Solar Sports. You know, and we don't just play games, we also care about our affected countrymen because of the Typhoon Yolanda. So magkakaroon tayo ng Spike for a Cause December 8, 2013 at 4 p.m. It'll be held here at the Inata Sports Arena in Pasig City. Team score will be comprised of the imports of the 6 participating teams, and Team Solar Sports will be bannered by the stars, the local stars of each team, ladies like Gretchen Ho, Rachel Andakis, etc. And that's something that I'm actually excited for. And I'm also excited to see how Systema will respond to this good start by Gilligans.
That's right. If you know they have to do something about it now. We mentioned how you don't want to play catch up, so it's working right now for Gilligans, but it's actually the opposite here for Systema.
Pareja blocked up top. And Gilligans is celebrating every point. Far from the Gilligan squad that I saw falter in the first set of their last meeting.
Good reception here.
Little off speed. Excellent dig. Here's Tonkin with the setup. Torres, backline attack. Good dig. They float it over. And they get the finish.
Rojas opting for that smart attack. You know, for men's volleyball, we see a lot of power, but oftentimes those simple drop balls can also get you that point.
Like a lot of coaches harp on, basta patay mo yung bola. Ball still in play. Attack from the back line is blocked. And Systema showing some life. Trailing just by 4 points. PJ Rojas on deck to serve for Systema. Good strong jump serve. Depante floats it over.
Depante trying to get a point off the block, but no touch.
PJ Rojas still on deck to serve. The Smashers trailing by 3 points. Oh, look at that dump. But read well. Chua with an excellent dig. Depante cross-court setup. Torres from the back line, but couldn't score. Blocked up top. And this tall and talented front line of Systema really intimidating at the net.
Of course, I'm not surprised. Pareja actually leads the men's division when it comes to blocking.
Here's the setup. Depante attacking the defense, getting the finish. Earlier tried to float it over. Now he just put it away with power. Quinn on deck to serve. Sisig Kings up by 3. Running attack. And that one goes out of bounds. Point goes to Gilligans. They're just feasting on those free points that System is giving them. 11 serving 7. Lamar with a setup. Oh, look at that. Makasayat going up high and down hard for the finish.
It's a combination play.
Always a pretty thing to behold.
Look at this. Just one blocker there for Makasait.
He found the proper placement for the finish. For reception. Chua tries to keep it alive. Lokyao gives it back. Lamor, another setup. Same play, different result. Oh, but John Depante, I think, tweaked his ankle on the way down, but he's up. I saw him wince a little, but John signaling to his bench that he's going to be okay. And he is on deck to serve as well. 12 serving 8. Gilligan's hoping to pad on to this very good start here in set number 1. Little off speed. And Makasayat mixing up his offense.
Just as everyone is expecting a hard spike.
so much you can do when you can suspend yourself in midair, you know?
That's-
Power it down, or, you know, decide, no, wait, I think I want to place it this way.
Especially for the men's division, hang time is really there. You can see them, they probably have a few seconds up in the air so they can decide what it is they want to do and have a clear view of where they will bring the ball on the other side.
Jump set. Andrade couldn't finish. Torres with the setup. Off-speed attack is short by Mabayan. And point goes to Systema. And look at Andrade talking to his teammates, trying to wake them up.
This should be a strong front line for Systema. Andrade, of course, with 46% success in attacking, the best in the men's division.
Unfortunately, though, another error for the Smashers, giving another point to the Sisig Kings. They're up by 4, 14 serving 10. Lamor with a jump set. And Rojas powers it down. Look at the determination on the face of Rojas. And hopefully his play inspires his teammates. Let's take a look at it again.
That very small area to work with, but that shot is very accurate.
And Jet Mabayad gets it back. In their previous matchup, it was Systema always answering Gilligan's. Now it's the other way around.
That goes to show how determined Gilligan's is actually to get a win against Systema.
Look at Andrade getting the finish and main mugging his way. The throw down and the stare down for Rocky Andrade. And he is on deck to serve. This guy plays with so much passion. Talking about Rocky Andrade. Look at that block up top. AJ Pareja going up high for the denial.
You have to do something more if you're up against a wall.
You can take it any way you want, as long as you put points on the board. 16 to 30, 3-point lead by Gilligan's against Systema. Back in a moment. Systema trying to get their bearings back as they are trailing by 3 points against the Gilligan's Sisig Kings. 3 attacks and 1 block so far for Chris Makasait, but he is still looking for help. Rocky Andrade has tried to wake up his teammates. Will that be enough? Gilligan's has started very strong here in the first set. And what do you like so far from what you've seen from the Sisig Kings?
Well, I think for the Sisig Kings, what is working for them right now is that they're very strong offense, and even their defense is actually working. Now, I think one thing that they just need to take caution of is when Pareja is in the front line. The blocking of Systema is actually very strong.
Pareja trying to get the finish, and he does. He knew which direction to put that shot. Systema trailing by just 3. Rojas, good strong jump serve. Setup job for Debate, blocked up top. And just like what you were saying, Ann, you have to be careful where you want to place that ball when AJ Pareja is patrolling that man.
Of course, if you're the attacker, you shouldn't doubt and just go for it, but the coverage should also be there. Let's take a look at that. It's like hitting the ball straight into a wall.
And from our position, I can actually hear that front line of Systema talking to each other. Dalawa tayo, 1, 2, and then the timing. PJ Ross, a little too excited. Now he'll get another serve. Attack from the back line. Chance for Systema. That sails out of bounds. Just a little too much English on that volleyball for Systema here in the first set. Tonkin on deck to serve. Lamor with the setup. Loquial sends it back. One more time for Systema, blocked, and they get the finish. Chris Makasayan playing excellent here in set number 1.
Also becoming very aggressive. Looking at their faces, they really mean business.
They set it up for Depante, and he finds a way to finish. He had 11 points in their last game against Systema. John Depante looking to have a good game here. Just couldn't get that on the service. Another error for Gilligan's. Unofficially, I have 3 by my count for Gilligan's. Substitution coming in. Ian Conde for Systema. And AJ Pareja will take a seat.
Conde, of course, also expected to deliver when it comes to floor defense.
Mabayad slows it down and jump set for JP Torres. Just a little. Oh, check ball. So point goes to Gilligan's. Every time that Systema is trying to put together a run, Gilligan's always answers. But you cannot extend your lead when you commit service errors like that.
And these are wasted points.
Aside, back on deck to serve. His team down by 2 points. Back set for Torres. Ball still in play. And 4 touches.
Conrade questioning that call.
We have to appreciate the fire of Conrade. Hopefully it rubs off on the rest of the Smashers. Gilligan's 4 points away from taking this first set. Make that 3 points away from taking set number 1.
Right now, just a lot of errors for Systema.
22-18, Gilligan's with the lead against Systema. Let's listen in.
Dulo tayo ng dulo, pare. Tapos isang tumba, isang dulo. Huwag mo igigit na. Huli tayo sa gitna eh. Pagka nagpatong ka sa gitna, huli tayo. Sa transition mo gawin pagka bumalik sa ating bola.
Clear instructions from the huddle. Isa-isa lang, huwag tayo manggigil.
And we've seen leads like this, and teams that are actually down can still come from behind.
Sometimes when you focus too much on the scoreboard, that puts a little too much pressure on you.
Let's see.
Rojas almost finding a way to finish. Here's Torres, blocked up top by Honrade.
Very clearly, the strength of Systema in this first set is their frontline defense.
They go to Torres, off the blocker. Ball still in play. Lamor with a setup. And Mabayad going up high for the denial.
I think Edget heard me and saying, you know, he's like, no, they're not the only ones who can block.
Not as tall as Honrade and Pareja, but he can certainly get up there. Gilligan's 2 points away from taking set number 1. Rino Roque on deck to serve. Here's the setup for Depante. Going off the blocker to get the finish. And after that little tweak on his ankle, Depante seems to be doing okay.
Right now, Gilligan Gilligan's is playing a very good set. Not too much combination plays, everything is just the basic plays, but nonetheless, it's working and getting them the points.
Set point for Gilligan's. And set number 1 will go to the Sisig Kings. They still remember that last game against Systema, and they want to get back at them here in the semifinals. Back in a moment. Semifinal action continues here in the Inara Sports Arena as we look at the numbers of set number 1 between Systema and Gilligan's.
Well, looking at the attack points, actually both teams scored 8. Systema actually had a better performance when it came to when it comes to the blocking department, but Gilligan's really performed very well at the service area with 3 service aces in the first set. I think what also worked for Gilligan's is they're very aggressive in the first set, and they left no room for Systema to catch up.
And speaking of room, excuse me, they were able to find those open spots in the floor defense of Systema to be able to place their finishes.
That's right, but again, if we look back, the first time these two teams met, it was actually Systema who got that win. And Gilligan's out on a revenge actually, and hoping to get this win. So Systema, we know they have still something up their sleeve, and just I guess us all waiting to see that. Probably like a diesel team still warming up in the first set.
Looking at the numbers of the two main men of both teams, talking about JP Torres and Rocky Honrade for the season. Look at their numbers, incredible. Especially for JP Torres, one of the best attackers in the men's division. Honrade, of course, one of the toughest defenders at the net. Let's see what these two main men can bring for their team here in set number 2. Thank you so much for joining us, PSL Grand Prix 2013, the semifinals here on Solar Sports. On deck to serve, the captain, John DePante III for Gilligan's. They responded to the challenge of Coach Frank Mauricio to start strong. But sometimes it's not about starting strong, it's about finishing strong as well. Honrade tried to hammer it down. Setup job. They find the opening and the finish.
The Gilligan Sisig Kings trying to vary their attacks.
And that's important, and especially against a frontline defense as intimidating as Systema.
You have to be able to make that decision while you're in midair.
But if you can't score in midair, try to score from the service line.
That's right, and that's exactly what both these teams are doing now.
DePante back on deck to serve. Back-to-back hits for John DePante III. 3-0. And Gilligan's continuing to roar here in set number 2. This is like a 180-degree turnaround. Here's Makasayan going off the blocker and putting it down. Makasayan has been the bright spot, the lone bright spot so far here for Systema.
Got that powerful hit. He was actually on top of the blockers.
One serving 3. Del Campo dumps it over. Getting creative with the finish. Catching the defense napping with that dump over for the score. And Ricky Flores has a report from courtside.
Now let's talk about Rocky Andrade, because it's always nice to talk about Rocky Andrade. I asked Kung Fu Reyes, who also happens to be Coach Kung Fu to the TMS Army women's team, if that's also how wild he is in civilian clothing. No doubt, it's all part of his offense. And speaking of Kung Fu Reyes, as you can see, he isn't suited up today for Gilligan's. He gave up his slot so that Petrus de Ocampo could see some playing time. James and Ann?
Thank you, Ricky. And Roque Honrade, of course, a very interesting character. Not just a very good player, a very interesting characters as well for Systema. And you need that. You know, that angas factor whenever you're playing.
And it helps, if you intimidate the opponent, that also plays a big factor.
And speaking of intimidation, right on cue.
But Edget is still all smiles. Honrade.
Pounding that volleyball, pounding his chest. Roque Honrade trying to inject some life into his Systema team. They're trailing by 3. Here in set number 2. De Ocampo with the setup. And that floor defense has been found wanting thanks to this very aggressive Giligan's attack. Let's take a look at it again.
It's a combination play.
And Gilligan's, for the first 2 sets, they've been able to find those little openings. Here's Systema's floor defense, just like that.
And Edget just appears like he's smiling, but he really means business.
I have a feeling that Coach Frank Mauricio did extensive research on the openings here in Systema's defense.
I'm pretty sure they came here prepared.
DJ Ross as well has done his homework. And he finds that opening near the back line. Quick setup job. And the blocker was just a few seconds too late. Honrade on deck to serve. Systema down by 4 points. Excellent combination play. And Gilligan's is rolling here in set number 2. They are up 8-3 against Systema. Back in a moment. Sometimes it's as simple as waking up on the right side of the bed. And it seems that John DePante III did exactly that. Woke up on the right side of the bed, and the memory of that loss against Systema is still fresh in his mind, and he has been excellent here in the first 2 sets. Roque Honrade has been trying his darndest best to protect that net, but the floor coverage of Systema has been the one with a lot of holes, and that's why Gilligan's is up 8-3 here in set number 2.
Luckily for Systema, that service error from Torres.
For serving 8. Quick combination play again, a thing of beauty. And Roland Tonquin puts it away.
You have to credit the receivers of Gilligan's. Without those very good reception, they won't be able to execute those combination plays.
And Zamora scoring on the double block. Talking about simplifying things, Anne, would you like to hear some more talking, more communication on the part of Systema?
Well, that usually works, you know, if you communicate on the floor, your movement is more fluid, and right now we don't see much of it. As opposed to the Gilligan's team, you see, every movement they make, they call out on their teammate.
10 serving 5 here in set number 2. Gilligan's up against Systema. Pareja tried to hammer it down, but blocked up top. One more time, Makasaet blocked up top. Ball still in play. Attack from the back line. Rojas off speed.
Oh, a bit impossible already.
And the Smashers catching a break. Pareja on deck to serve for Systema. That just sails over the defense and out of bounds.
Devantes had quite a few aces earlier.
And both teams now taking care of their service.
I think I jinxed that one.
So that cancels out the service error by AJ Pareja earlier. Here's Makasayat on deck to serve for Systema. Setup job for Honrade off the blocker. Giligan's keeping it alive. They find an opening and they get the finish. JP Torres.
Torres very quick to make that decision. No coverage was behind the blockers.
Torres had 14 points in their last encounter. We'll keep a sharp eye on his performance today. That shot sails out of bounds for Gilligan.
Just a lot of errors here for Systema.
13 serving 7. Jump set for Rojas, getting creative with a finish. Just floating it over the defense and finding an opening. The setup.
Two blockers were there. Finds that opening.
Both teams actually playing it smart here in the second set. With the exception of those errors, they've been doing a good job finding those little creases in the backline defense. The defenders at the net, very aggressive. It's up to the guys behind them to back them up.
And actually at this level, that's what is actually expected of them. Of course, we know that the rallies here for the men's division, it's much faster. They score very easily. Unlike if you compare it with the women's division, a lot of long rallies you see there.
Look at Honrade defending the net with ferocity. Systema down by just 3. De Ocampo with the setup. Joust at the top, but won by Gilligans.
Set was actually a bit wide for Torres. Luckily, they still got that point.
Loquiao on deck to serve. Gilligan's up by 4. Make that up by just 3. Errors piling up for both squads.
Especially at the service line.
Again, just like you mentioned, Dan.
Actually, just a few inches away from the end line. But most especially in the second set, we're seeing a lot of these errors.
JP Torres on deck to serve. Pareja. He anticipated where the blockers were going to be and then placed it just beyond the reach.
Of course, his height is also an advantage. Had a clear view of the other side.
Compared to that previous matchup where Systema was just a machine firing on all cylinders, they've been piling up a lot of errors. Back in a moment. Thank you so much for everyone joining us here at the Inares Sports Arena, watching the PSL Grand Prix semifinals here in the men's division. And Roland Tonquin putting together a consistent effort on both ends.
Gilligan's also working hard in keeping this lead.
Zamora getting the finish. For Systema, they've been known to score in a variety of ways. They're actually pretty complete. They have a stacked roster, but something seems to be missing. their formula in this matchup?
Well, right now, I think Gilligan's really just came prepared. And, you know, most of the points that Gilligan's has scored today really coming from those open areas on the side of Systema.
And just look at the energy of the Sisig Kings. Every time they score, or even when they commit an error, they're all encouraging each other. And that's key, that's key.
They look like the team that's enjoying this game over Systema, who's really showing a bit of pressure on their side. But Makasayat, I think, in that case, wasn't pressured at all.
Well, pressure works both ways. It can make diamonds or it can crush you. And Makasayat, take a look at that finish. Just avoiding the double block, placing it to the right.
Probably Systema is just a bit too tense here in this set.
14 serving 18. Zamora keeping it alive. Makasayat off speed. Depante floats it over.
And that is a perfect example of how they're not communicating inside the court. Everybody knew the ball was going to land in the middle.
And rather disappointed that he was unable to get the stop here. But there you go. That's what you were saying, Ann. Kailangan usap, make it known na dapat may kukuha agad.
And that's why in volleyball you would always hear the players say "mine" when they're actually on the floor.
De Ocampo with the back set. Cross-court setup, Honrade. Usually he gets his points from blocks. Now he's very aggressive, attacking the defense of Gilligan's. Systema down by just 4. And down by 5. They're shooting themselves in the foot because of those service errors.
Those are really free points for Gilligan's. It's Coach Kung Fu.
Conrade finding the right timing.
Conrade. So much passion.
And I'm sure the fans of the Smashers are waiting for Honrade's energy to rub off on everyone. He's fired up, but I want to see the other guys also displaying that same type of fire.
And it has to happen at the same time. It can't be just one person.
Look at the numbers. 5 successful service aces for Gilligan's. But
7
also,
faults. 5 out of 7 is probably better than having no ace and 7 errors.
Gilligan's is up 21-17 against Systema. Timeout called on the floor.
Pare, lagay-lagay muna tayo sa service. At least para pumasok. Sa blockings tayo, pare, sa blockings tayo babawi. Lagay-lagay muna tayo sa service. Huwag natin sila bigyan ng punto sa error natin. Malayo pa yan, ha? Malayo pa yan. Bawi, ha? Bawi.
Right now going for a safer play. Coaching staff just really wants them to go for a sure serve.
I know a lot of guys like the concept of go big or go home, but sometimes, you know, the safe play is the way to go.
And that's exactly what is expected of them. Let's see if they can do that.
De Ocampo with the setup. Torres. Excellent dig by Systema. Zamora just short on the attack.
It's actually a difficult angle for Zamora.
But the movement of Systema in that sequence, much improved compared to their first set.
And more communication also on the floor.
Zamora puts it away. And I think the Smashers have finally woken up.
Just about time.
And they put it together consistently, though. Let's take a look at it again.
Look at this hit from Zamora.
Way above the net.
It just amazes me how to see the leaping ability of all these male volleyball players. I mean, just imagine. They can
Kaya mo
all
rin
dunk
yun.
the ball.
Kaya mo rin yun, Ann.
Back in the
very
day.
confident.
Back in the day, you know.
And JP Torres will go to the bench. He's played splendidly. Sub muna to si Rino Roque for Gilligans. AJ Pareja as well back on the floor for Systema. (23 serving 18). Set number 2, Gilligans up 1-0 against Systema. Here's the setup. And point goes to Systema.
And Zamora making his presence felt from both sides of the net.
Tagalog terms, that's the hugot, the miracle hugot of Coach Kim Rebong. Good reception by Gilligans. Joust at the top. Ball still in play. Clamor with a jump set. And the defense caught napping. John DePante finding an opening and getting the finish. Gilligans again at set point here in the second set. Yanni Fernandez on the floor for Gilligans, and he will be on deck to serve. Here's a chance for Systema. Zamora. And Gilligans taking the second set, feasting on the errors of the Smashers and getting points of their own. They've been consistently deadly. Will they finish Systema off? We will find out in just a moment. At the top of the coverage, and we talked about Systema. Will they have a psychological edge? For Gilligans, will they have an axe to grind? And it looks like it's the latter here in the game.
That's right. Looking back at set number 2, Gilligan's actually performing better when it comes to the attacking department, scoring 15 points compared to only 12 of Systema. Though Systema had better blocking, we saw how they had difficulties. They had committed actually a lot of errors in that set and just really gave away a lot of free points for Gilligans.
And what I liked about the Sisig Kings as well, everyone is just moving their feet. So when the ball or the attack gets past the initial defense, there is always someone there to get the dig.
That's right. And on top of that, actually, we saw a lot of combination plays that were executed in the second set. Very high percentage when it comes to attacks. And the Sisig Kings also had control of the second set.
And I think that's going to be a crucial factor here, control. Hindi pwedeng masyado kagigil. And of course, it's going to be very important for Gilligans to keep on communicating, especially when they're trying to protect the floor. System has been trying to be aggressive in that second set. Unfortunately, they just couldn't put together a consistent attack.
You know, it could be just a minor thing, but I think one of the differences that I saw between these two teams, Gilligans, you'd see them every time they commit a point, or even when they commit an error, you'd still see them smile. Very relaxed, you know, just making sure that they keep their focus. But on the other hand, Systema right now is a bit tense. And like what you mentioned, very aggressive. It's good that they're actually aggressive,
yeah.
but in a way, they also probably need to balance the pressure, especially now that they're down 2 sets.
All right, so very quickly, and adjustments that you'd like to see from both teams.
Well, I think for the Sisig Kings, they're doing well. What they need is to continue on and just make sure that when they're up against a strong blocker in Systema, they can adjust their offense. Meanwhile, for Systema, I think the very basic thing that they need is to first focus on their defense. It's very strong offense, very strong blocking, but it really has to come from a good dig.
All right, here we go. Set number 3. And Gilligan's up 2-0 against Systema. They set it up for Torres. Locked them down. AJ Pareja getting the first point on the board here. Set number 3. As we compare Makasayat and Depante. Both of them with 6 attacks. Both of them with 1 block. But who will make the difference for their team? Torres again. JP Torres picking up from where he left before he took a rest in that second set. Lamor with a jump set. Aside trying to power it down, but sails out of bounds.
These are the errors that they should avoid.
And I can actually hear Coach Kim Rebong saying relax. After Makasayat tried to power it down, here's Pareja. And a smart finish for AJ Pareja.
Again, not everything is about power. Sometimes you just have to change the pace when everyone is expecting that you'd give a hard spike.
Dokyao. Excellent combination play for Gilligans. And I was just about to mention that Gilligans cannot get comfortable with this 2-0 lead.
Sometimes it happens for teams who are actually at a 2-0 advantage. On the third set, they tend to relax.
You need to have that Kobe Bryant mentality, you know, just get the finish. Cross-court setup, Torres. And let's head over to courtside with Ricky Flores. Go ahead, Ricky.
Now that last Gilligan's huddle was actually very light. Everybody was relaxing, but for this third and Coach Frank Hope's final set, the Sisig Kings are hoping to play with the same intensity they did in the last two sets. Sipag lang, he told all his players. And the Systema team beat them in straight sets the last time, so beating them in the same manner would be the perfect ending to their day. James and Ann?
Thank you, Ricky, and that's another thing that I'd like to ask you, Ann. More than the skills, kailangan smarts and sipa.
That's right, and you know, that's what the Sisig Kings has actually displayed, because looking at both squads, no question about it, we have the top male players in the country. And so sometimes nagkakatalo na lang yan kung sino yung, of course, mas gustong manalo in a game, and also kung sino yung mas nag-iisip.
Let's take a look at this again. The setup for Makasayat. And Makasayat finding the right opening for the finish. We are tied 4 points apiece. They go to Depante, up high. Just couldn't finish. Finally, Systema getting a taste of the lead. Aside on deck to serve. Systema up by 1. Torres slows that one down. They go to Depante, off the blocker. Earlier he sent it out of bounds. This time he made sure.
Is getting that point off the block.
Lamor with a jump set. Depante trying to keep it alive, but Rojas doing an excellent job with the placement. Systema showing some signs of life. Can this little spark turn into a fire? Attack from the back line. Torres is blocked.
Finally, just what Systema needs.
And now you see the multifaceted capability of Systema when it comes to scoring.
Again, this team is actually composed of the best male players that we have in the country.
Depante, just too strong and getting the point. Buti na lang, very quick yung hands ng referee natin dito sa side.
Actually, I was about to say, if you're watching a women's game, if tamaan ka ng bola, yeah, it'll be a bit painful. But if you're watching men's game and the ball actually goes your direction, you have to hide.
So please don't leave me, Anne. Please.
Reflexes will be tested.
And look at Edjet Mabayad letting out his frustration with that finish. A little extra oomph in that shot. Powering over the net. And placing it just right to get the score. Just at the top, won by John Depante.
Pante, very aggressive at the net.
Gilligan's up 2-0, and they are up by a point here in set number 3. Gilligan's not looking to relax, even though they're up by 2 sets against Systema. Ejet Mabayad, 6 attacks, 1 block, and 1 serve so far in this game. Just one of the many people who have stepped up for Gilligan's in this game.
That's right, and at this point, I think that's also something that's working right now for Gilligan's. Everyone, every rotation that they're in, somebody is actually scoring the points.
But on the other side of the floor, it seems as if Systema has finally shaven off that little extra nervous energy that they've had in the first 2 sets. Took them a while, but finally, they're showing what they can do as a team.
And of course, the third set is very crucial. They have to do everything that they can to win this set, to extend, to possibly extend this game into a 5-set match.
This time, though, a reversal of roles. Instead of Systema answering every run that Gilligan's is putting up, it's the Sisig Kings who have been able to stuff the Systema squad. AJ Pareja not willing to go quietly into the night, finding different ways to help his team. Heavy duty work mode
That's
for
right.
AJ Pareja.
And you know, the way he varies his attacks, it makes him less predictable.
That has got to be frustrating for Systema. All those service errors in the previous 2 sets.
Actually, if they probably look back at this game and check out their statistics and see how much points they actually gave away, how much free points they gave to Gilligan's, they'll feel na parang sayang.
And AJ Pareja is looking like the comeback kid for Systema. He has been relentless in the Systema comeback. Ties the game up 10-all. But just as I was saying that, and service errors again, just hurting the Systema squad.
And
Because every time you commit an error like that, it disrupts your rhythm.
definitely, that's why I guess the momentum is on the side of Gilligan's in the first 2 sets.
Take a look at it again. Quick setup job. And Makasayat catching the defense snapping. Pareja on deck to serve. Back set to Torres. Tries to float it over, but short. Chua keeps it alive. Torres gives it back. Andrade off the blocker.
Andrade being pulled by his teammate.
The throw down and the stare down for Rocky Andrade.
But again, sometimes it really helps, you know. That swag intimidates your opponent.
I'm just happy you used the word swag on there. But yeah, that's true. That attitude, that
need
little
that.
extra something.
I mean, something you need that. You know, a lot of coaches, sometimes you talk to coaches like Coach Roger Gurayeb, sometimes that's exactly what he's looking for from his team. Gusto niya ng konting yabang. You have to have that attitude.
You can be friends off the court, but on the court, the only friends that you have are those wearing the same colors.
Exactly. Because in reality, these people are friends anyway.
Yeah. And there was a violation, I think, overreaching.
Reaching called, yes.
Gilligan's
Now,
will take a 1-point lead.
even these violations not gonna help their cause.
Lamor with a setup. Espiritu. And it's time for different faces and different names to show up for Systema. The usual suspects have been doing everything that they can. It's up to the other guys to produce. And in that sequence, it was Angelo Espiritu. Got the finish. Makasayat on deck to serve. Torres, excellent reception. Mabaya blocked up top.
Systema finally gets the lead.
Mabaya trying to get aggressive on that attack, but the double block just too tough to score on. And this is the Systema that the fans have known and loved. Taking care of those serves and defending that net with ferocity. The Smashers up by 2 against Giligans.
Okay lang, okay lang. Wala problema. Gawa tayo paraan, pare. Basa play natin, basa play. Laruin mo yung gitna. Ilayo mo yung gitna. Ha? Buka-buka kung ano. Oh, let's go. Oh, let's go, pare. Ha? Dalawa lang yan. Huwag natin ano, ha? Oh, sige, let's go, let's go. Kapit lang, tsaga lang. 1, 2, 3. Giligan.
More than the physical struggle that you watch on the floor, it's a cerebral matchup when you talk about volleyball action.
Definitely, especially for the setter who has to make a lot of the decisions when the game is in play.
You have to know which weapons you want to use, where to place it, how to place it. Sometimes you score when you try to dump it over.
Very
Let's
crucial.
see how Giligans will adjust on Quinn. On Rade, Chua keeps it alive. And the energy of the Smashers, stark difference from the first 2 sets. Almost like a new team that's out there. A 3-point lead for the Smashers. Back in a moment. The same system of players are on the floor, but it's a different type of energy. And that has made all the difference in this game as we look at the comparison. Rojas and Pareja for Systema. But Gilligan's responding to the spirited Systema run by getting a finish off their own.
And some changes on the floor.
Looking at the huddle of the Smashers early on, when they were down in sets number 1 and 2, they were just standing there listening to their coach. Pero ngayon, nakita natin that they were actually enjoying talking to each other. I could hear AJ Pareja saying, kaya pala natin eh, tuloy natin. On the other side of the floor, Yanni Fernandez was the one leading in the huddle, telling them, huwag tayong mag-relax.
And that, again, I think it's a simple reminder, but really means a lot.
Unfortunately, Yanni Fernandez will commit that service error. Giving a chance for Systema to creep closer to set point. Espiritu on deck to serve, but commits another error. It's been a sloppy game to say the least.
Really a lot of errors. I'm like a broken record in saying there's just a lot of service errors in this game.
One-point lead for Systema. Lamor with the setup. And Rojas has been a bright spot for the Smashers. Scoring in a variety of ways. Full power, off speed, off the block. Quick setup for Luciao. Ball kept alive. Pareja floats it over. They go to Depante.
Depante gets that point.
If Rocky Honrade likes to stare you down, John Depante likes to smile at you when he scores.
I don't know which is worse if you're a guy, right? Ay nakakaloko pag tatawanan ka. But then, different strokes for different folks. That's what works for Depante.
It's a back set. Torres. Rather Pinante blocked up top. AJ Pareja, heavy duty workload here in this game. Looking at the faces of the Smashers, visibly different from the team that we were watching earlier. But just as I was praising their effort, they make me look bad because of another error.
That always happens, but you know, now more than ever, the Smashers need to realize the urgency of the set. They need to take a bigger lead and win this rather convincingly.
I am looking at the coaching staff of both squads and they're all scratching their heads.
What is happening? You know what? I'm very sure when both these teams go back to training, they're gonna do a lot of services.
Just to make sure that everyone gets the memo. Oh, look at Rojas! Aggressive from the back line. And the Smashers with a comfortable lead here in set number 3. Timeout called on the floor.
Pare, ang service nyo, take your time. Nasa crucial na tayo, crucial stage na tayo. Kailangan take your time. 5 seconds i-hold nyo. O pare, kapitan ninyo ngayon yan, Kailangan, mahina ang service nila. Mahina ang service. Laruin mo sa gitna, O, let's go. 1, 2, 3. Giligan.
Sometimes it's as simple as that. Take your time.
Of course, again, as we take a look at some numbers here, Systema with 2 aces so far, but 14 faults. Gilligan's on the other hand with 5 aces and 9 faults.
It's a big number, 14.
That's a lot. That's more than half of a set.
Torres locked up top by Pareja. Back set now. Ball still in play. Makasaed puts it away.
Finally. Systema gets a 4-point lead.
And just 3 away from taking set number 3.
And now is the time that we actually see them smile.
And I can see Anne Remulla not smiling because of another service error by Systema.
That brings their service faults at 15.
Is it safe to say that their
Well,
confidence, those errors, a bigger opponent than the one standing in front of them?
Could be, but again, you see them moving very well on the floor. It's just that at the service line, something's really up.
A couple of substitutions. AJ Pareja will get a much-deserved breather. Conde will step in instead. He's also on deck to serve. Jump set for Tonquin. Excellent effort by Conde. Makasaed off speed. Ball kept alive. They will go to Torres. Clamor keeping it alive. Good rally developing. Makasaed.
Oh, a net violation.
Gilligan's caught with a violation. Over eager, protecting that net set point for the Systema Smashers. Can Systema come all the way back? They go to Torres. And JP Torres with a finish. Gilligan's down by 4. Rito Roque on deck to serve for Gilligan's. They've been caught flat-footed towards the middle of this 3rd set. Here's a chance. Makasaed. Excellent effort. And look at Tonquin, put it away. Gilligan's waking up, but is it at the nick of time Down by 3, timeout call on the floor.
Isang receive lang ha, isang receive. Tulong sa receive ha. Santay spiker mo, pare, basagin mo ulit. Ha?
Pare, kunin nyo yung bonus sa baba. Huwag nyo kunin sa taas. Ngayon, kunin nyo sa harap. Para mayroon tayo sa
Hindi ka malalim lang pare ha. Isang maganda lang, isang maganda.
Back week. 5.
Pre, pasa mo na, hindi natin magagawain. Bago na pasa. Hoy, stay mo.
Receive ha, receive ha, receive.
Clear instructions there. Isa-isa lang. Let's take care of that. He also talked to the back line to really get the ball.
They need one good pass. Very strong attackers in the front row.
21 serving 24. Here's the setup. Onrade trickles the twine, and point goes to Gilligans.
They just need one more point.
So close yet so far.
C should be easy. It's actually a more difficult job for Gilligans to get this set because everything that they will do from this point on has to be perfect.
Here's the back set. Oh! And Espiritu with a powerful finish. Systema does not want to go home just yet. Trailing by 1 set against Gilligans, the Sisig Kings. Back in a moment. Waking up just in the nick of time, the Systema Smashers taking that third set, making all the right adjustments at the right time.
That's right. Across all departments, when it came to attacking, blocking, even at the service area, despite the number of errors that they actually committed at the service area, they still emerged as the winner in the set. I think they were able to find their groove. They found ways on how to score their the points.
And I go back to the report of Ricky Flores earlier, Sipag. That's what it took for the Smashers to take that set number 3. Guys like Espiritu and Conde, just the effort to keep the ball in play.
So now I think what we saw is really team effort. It's not just one person performing. You see in each and every rotation, someone is actually scoring the points.
And that unpredictability is going to be a weapon of choice against Gilligans. They had a good start, but can they finish? That is the question.
Neither of the teams can be caught napping, especially here in the 4th set.
And the energy is going to be something to watch out for. Speaking of Gilligans, you know, just whenever I cover the games of Gilligans, they've been able to hang close and hang tough against certain teams. But then again, this finishing ability is going to be very important against a talented team like Systema.
That's right. You mentioned this earlier. It's not all about a strong start, but of course, what's more important is a stronger finish. Let's see what the Sisig Kings can do to stop Systema, who seems to have found, you know, the right strategy or the right place to get them the win.
Set number 4 here at the United Sports Arena in Pasig City. Just a little too strong, Clamor. Giving a point to Gilligans. Now the big guns are on the floor for Coach Frank Mauricio. I see JP Torres. I see Loquiao. I see Depante. Can they put it together though? Pareja keeping it alive. Setting it up for Makasayat off the blocker. Depante keeping the ball in play. Torres, powerful finish. And that rest seems to have done well for JP Torres as he got the finish. Let's hear from Ricky Flores at courtside.
Well, apparently, James, for the Systema team, the game just started. That's the mindset that they have going into the set. Coach Kim let his players psych themselves out during that last timeout, and they want to take advantage of Gilligan's errors. Kung binibigay lang nila, kunin natin. We have a ball game, James and Ann.
Thank you, Ricky, and that's the perfect way to put it. You know, just mentally preparing your team. Kahit lalo na when it drags out to something as long as this, it's about your mental focus and your fortitude.
That's right. So actually, every time the game extends, the more the athletes or the volleyball players are actually tested, because mentally, it's gonna be more difficult. Lahat ng diskarte that they need to do.
Reserving one. Setup job, Makasayat, trying to be creative. Powers it down. Point goes to Gilligan's. De Campo on deck to serve.
Poor
And he
reception.
crossed over, yes. That was one of the things that Coach Kim Rebel was reminding his boys. Receive muna tayo na maganda.
All starts from there.
Just like that one. Joust at the top. And that is won by Systema. Mabaya trying to argue his case. The referee's ruling check ball.
Last touch.
Last touch, okay.
Last touch on Gilligan's.
2 serving 5. Oh, look at Honrade. The throw down and the stare down once again. But did I see a little smile on Rocky Honrade's face?
One of the few times that you'd probably see him smile.
And Honrade with authority. Honrade trying to go back to back, and he does. He's a towering force in the middle for the Systema Smashers. Game officials trying to adjust something at the net. Play resumes. This is where Systema can be dangerous if they take care of their service first. But when they are coming back and they are injecting energy into each other, that's when Systema can be really dangerous against Gilligan's. Espiritu. And the energy is completely transferred from the Gilligan side of the court to Systema's. Earlier, Gilligan's, they were doing an excellent job moving their feet, but Espiritu challenging them, trying to get this.
Now a lot of the attacks coming from the smashers, really very accurate, very well placed. It's just really that service area that seems to be the problem.
Torres with a good sharp serve. Jump set, Honrade gets the finish. Now the combination plays working like clockwork for the Systema Smashers.
That's why one of the things that their coaching staff reminded them of is for them to receive properly. That's the only way they can execute combination plays.
A rare service ace that Systema welcomes. Espiritu getting the finish. We are tied, 7 points apiece. Quick setup job, just sails over. Look at Rocky Honrade motioning to his bench that they have more heart. We will see if that is true. Systema up by 1, 8-7. Thank you so much for joining us here at the Inaga Sports Arena semifinal action In the men's division, the Systema Smashers going up against the Giligan Sisig Kings. And this game all tied up thanks to another service error by Systema, uncharacteristic for this team.
Well, Mabayan returns that error with another service error.
I can only guess what is on the mind of both coaches.
I know.
You are going to work on your service in practice. Pareja floats it over. De Ocampo keeps it alive. Pareja with power now. Still no go. They go to Depante. Blocked up top by Pareja. Another chance for Gilligans. And Ejet Mabaya challenging the defense of Rocky Honrade.
Scoring from a back row attack, just really using power to get that point.
Was that a version of the Rocky Honrade stare down, Ricky Flo? We are tied up at 9. They set up Rojas. He finds a space on the floor for the finish. It's going to be a test of will now. Which team will have more energy? Which team will want it more despite the length of this game?
And also the team, of course, who can minimize their faults as we take a look at some numbers here through sets 1 to 4.
Makasayat off speed. The dunk and the finish. AJ Pareja continues his stellar play. In a meeting of two talented squads, it's going to boil down to the nitty-gritty. You have to win in a variety of ways. You can play messy or play clean. And AJ Pareja has done all of that, scoring beautifully with his attacks, but can also do the dirty work when he's protecting the net. And the Systema Smashers are up 12-9 against Gilligans.
Pare, huwag niyo madaliin. Sige, relax lang tayo. Ano lang tayo? Focus lang muna, focus lang muna. Huwag niyo madaliin. Huwag niyo madaliin. Sige. Ha? Pare, ang palo nila, ginaganon lang nila, oh. Ginaganon nila, oh. Sabi ko sa inyo, tumusok na kayo. Natatakot na sila pumalo eh. Sabi ko sa inyo, sarado nyo na yung down the line. Sarado nyo na yung down the line palagi. Huwag nyo nang bigyan ng option, pare. Let's go, let's go. Oh, let's go. Hanggang 12 na lang yan, ha? 1, 2, 3.
Right now, what they, as we take a look at some numbers here, from Systema Pareja, now with 8 attacks and 4 block points, really strong overall. But again, going back to what Coach Frank was telling his team, they need to cover all fronts. And especially at the net, he wants the down-the-line area to be covered. Let's see if they can do just that.
That's what defense does for you. Pagka sa larong labas, sinisira mo yung diskarte ng kalaban mo.
And especially for, you know, the men's game.
Yeah.
If you stop them at the net, you're making it easier for your defense at the back.
But what if they find creative finishes just like that?
That's good then. Let's see more of those. Systema still with a 1-point lead. And right now, Gilligans would take the points in any way, no matter how they get them.
Torres. Rojas trying to keep it alive. Excellent dig. Makasayat powers it down. Going off the blocker for the score. Earlier, one of the coaches told his team not to look at the scoreboard and just try to play through sequence after sequence. But for Gilligans, I think they have to look at their 2-1 lead and be inspired by that. Isa na lang, isang set na lang.
And to think they actually have that advantage.
Torres dumps it over, but a violation. Depante desperately pleading his team's case.
But our first referee explaining and firmly says no.
3-point lead for Systema. 14 serving 11. Makasayat almost getting the finish. Torres off speed. Pareja. Just too strong. Giligan's appreciating those free points given by those errors. Good reception. Cross-court setup. Espiritu blocked up top.
But still they get the point off the block.
Sometimes you can't, you don't have to put it through. You can still get the finish. Blocker makes a miscue. AJ Barrera on the way to the bench, huffing and puffing. He has played splendidly, but he can't do it alone. Michael Conde with a service. Excellent defense by Honrade. Torres. Couldn't finish. Honrade. And that one is good.
Last touch from Gilligan's.
Cocking his gun and getting the finish. Rocky Honrade giving Systema the lead 16-12. Back in a moment. It has become a grit and grind affair between Systema and Gilligan's. Both teams refusing to give an inch. Systema down by a set. Gilligan's hoping to finish business. Torres going off the blocker for the finish.
The Sisig Kings need to work on getting those points. But right now, it's not all about power. They have to be very smart.
Very smart, very gritty. In the case of Chris Makasayat, very powerful with the finish. Some subs coming in. EJ Rojas coming back, as well as Michael Zamora for Systema. Very formidable lineup as you look at the numbers for the Systema Smashers. Honrade and Pareja have been the big guns, totaling 25 points between the two of them. The rest of the team with 37. JP Torres will take a breather. Rino Roque on deck for Gilligan's. Down by 3 points here and set. Oh, Rojas with the assistance. Honrade couldn't reach it. Rojas dumps it over. Excellent dig by Chua. They go to Depante. Ball kept alive. Chance for Gilligan's. And they get the finish.
I was just about to say, what worked for Gilligan's in the previous sets were the combination plays that they executed, and something that we don't see much of here in the fourth set.
On the other side of the floor, Depante and Torres have been the big guns for Gilligan's. The rest of the team totaling just 23 to the duo's 27. Rojas, powerful finish, but point goes to Gilligan's. That goes out of bounds. Timeout call on the floor. Gilligan slowly but surely back in it, down by just one.
Break tayo. Pag mataas, Basahin mo siya. Pag mabilis pare, atasan mo. Ha? Pag mabagal, babagsak ka na pumasok. Pero pag mabilis na mataas pare, atasan mo. Pag mataas pare, iwasan mo na outside.
In a grueling affair, and it is important for every coach to keep his troops focused, to keep them fired up, and to keep them ready. And that's what Systema has to do here in the face of this Gilligan's run. They are up by just one.
Very crucial set for Systema.
If they do climb back out of the hole, we are back to square one. But will Gilligan's finish? We will see. The setup for Rojas, who puts it away. And the combination plays working for the Systema Smashers. Up by 2, 18 serving 16. Ocampo with the back set. And Jet Mabayad says, right back at you.
A lot of powerful attacks.
Mabayad on deck to serve. Chance for Systema, Honrade. Ball still in play. They give it back to Systema. Ocampo tried to dump it over. Excellent net defense for Systema. Rojas floats it over. Excellent dig by Mabayad. And finally, Gilligan's with the finish. John DePante III, the captain, leading the way. The last few sequences, cleaner possessions for both teams.
And right now, everybody has to work and really help. Better be it at the back row with defense or in the front row with blocking and attacks.
Gilligan celebrating that error. They catch a break. And they take back the lead, 19 to 18. Ejit Mabayad. Deck to serve. Rojas off the blocker. He gets the finish. Pareja is rested enough. Coming back for the Systema Smashers.
This is clearly a tighter set.
This is when you have to grind it out. Ocampo with a cross-court setup. Excellent net defense there, but point goes to Gilligan's. Gilligan's back up by 1.
Clamor calling out the plays.
They set up Rojas. Excellent finish. PJ Rojas has found a second burst of energy here in this crucial set.
With this powerful attack.
Picture perfect. On the way up, throwing it down.
Mistimed. Lokia was a bit too early for that set.
Systema just 4 points away, taking set number 4. DePante slows that one down. Back to John DePante off the blocker, couldn't score. They set up Makasayat off the blocker, ball still in play. De Ocampo tried to dump it over, but a violation.
Overreaching, called on Systema.
Well, you can feel the energy of the Smashers.
And you see that right now, no team is actually pulling away. It's like a seesaw battle. Just goes to show how much both teams really want to get this set.
Ah, there was a violation. The crowd getting into it. Fans of both squads. And a cheering competition as well. As John Devante scores and an ace. Tit for tat here in set number 4.
The captain trying to make it easier for his teammates.
And this is where your focus has to be razor sharp. Closer to set point.
Not too focused that time. Probably a bit too eager.
Well, more than focus, a mastery of your nerves as well. Dexter Clamoro will have a chance to show us what runs in his blood. He said, Torres blocked the top. And look at AJ Pareja getting fired up. Systema getting back the lead, 23-22. A timeout called on the floor.
Ano ba ba? Huwag mo lang ibaon. Ha? Ano ba ba? Nagawa tayong paraan. Let's go. Oh. Pare, let's go. Receive tayo maganda, ha? Pasukan mo ng pasukan ng quick. Iano mo sa quick para makalanse, ha? Let's go. Oh. Pare, atin to. Ha? Atin to. Oh, go. Oh, let's go. 1, 2, 3.
Let's take a look at this last sequence. There's the setup. But Pareja doing an excellent job anticipating the placement.
Pareja leads the blocking here in the men's division.
Gilligan's going to Torres. Excellent dig by Rojas. Makasayat off speed. Excellent dig again by Systema. Makasayat just couldn't finish. We are all tied up, 23 points apiece. Both teams exchanging big shot after big shot.
Last 2 points for both teams. For one, it's already winning this game. For the other, extending to a 5-set match.
Locao, excellent job at the net. Espiritu off the blocker. Mabayad dumps it over. Makasayat.
Makasayat very happy with that point.
A set point now for the Systema Smashers. Momentum shifting back and forth. And Makasayat, who's been very consistent throughout the game, delivers once again. De Ocampo with the setup. JP Torres with the attack. And point goes to the Smashers. We will go into set number 5. Compared to their last meeting where Systema was dominant, now they have to grind it out one more set, one last time. Back in a moment. This is exactly what we expected in a semi-final matchup here in the men's division of the PSL Grand Prix 2013. The Systema Smashers and the Giligan Sisig Kings fighting tooth and nail in this matchup. Set number 5 in what has been a grinded out affair. What an effort we've seen from both teams.
That's right, of course, both teams evenly matched, and we see how passionate and how determined both teams are in really getting this game. Systema, of course, winning the last 2 sets.
And that is no easy feat to try and come back from being down 2 sets to none, and then finding the mental fortitude to actually come back and execute, especially those big plays at the end.
That's right, but you know, the 5th set is a much bigger test to both teams as, of course, we take a look at some numbers here from Pareja and Torres. Torres leading in terms of attacks, 12 points compared to Pareja's 8, but Pareja, very good performance at the net with 5 block points in this game.
we've seen a lot of games go into 5 sets and different levels of volleyball, but when the stakes are this high, a chance to play in the finals with an opponent breathing down your neck after being down 2 sets to none, where do you draw your strength in a situation like this, Anne?
Well, right now, of course, focus is very important, and each and every player on the floor should find it within themselves. You know, that heart to win, because it's really the team that wants to win more who will most likely get this game.
Well, I've seen Ricky Flores very focused at the sidelines. I've seen you focusing on all the big plays that both teams have been executing. Rocky Honrade has to be that emotional leader for the Systema Smashers. He has teamed up well with AJ Parejo, who's been brilliant in this game. On the other side of the floor, it has been a collective effort. Guys like John Depante, Loquiao, Roque, and JP Torres, of course. As AJ Pareja, I haven't seen him this tired in the games that I have seen him. In between breaks, you can see him bending down, holding onto his waist or to his shorts,
But he's
getting
really
as much
working
rest
hard.
because of all that has been expected of him. He's defending the net, scoring as well. And now it has come to this set number 5, semi-final action in the PSL Grand Prix 2013, brought to you by Solar Sports. Thank you so much for joining us. James Velasquez once again on hand, with Andre Mulia and Ricky Flores completing your courtside crew. Here we go.
Apart from just, winning today's game, both these teams also want to be part of history. They will be the first team who will actually enter the finals here in the men's division.
And all that experience that they've played in their collegiate leagues will be counted upon as Makasay is denied up top by the double block of Mabayan and Loquiao. Early on, we've seen both teams pile up the errors, but in that set number 4, we've seen them put together some excellent plays. It's going to be a matter of finishing, like AJ Pareja with that powerful finish.
But now we can expect both setters, actually setters for both squads, to really utilize all their attackers.
Mabayan, off speed. Makasay, off speed, goes down the line for the finish. Now cleaner execution you can see from the Smashers.
Sometimes going back to the basics, that could just be the key.
Mabayan denied up top. AJ Pareja, where is this strength and endurance coming from?
I don't know where, but it's working for the Smashers.
Let's take a look at it again. Anticipated that perfectly. And the Smashers up by 2, 3 serving 1. Torres from the back line. Locked up top. A chance for Systema. Loquiao doing an excellent job at the net for Gilligans. Torres defending the floor. They give it back. Nice rally developing. And the defense caught napping. Cielo Espiritu with an excellent finish.
The Sisig Kings can't return the point. They're having a difficult time in setting up plays.
You know, the energy that they showed in the first 2 sets, completely gone.
And we're seeing that energy on the side of the Smashers.
Here's Makasay off speed. Ball still in play. Depante finds an opening for the finish. And the captain trying to rally his troops. John Depante telling everyone to calm down and follow his lead. 2 serving 4. quick setup job for Makasait. Just goes out of bounds.
Sisig Kings will take that point. Again, you know, the fifth set is literally a race to 15. They don't have that much time, the luxury of, you know, catching up. So kailangan yan, sasabayan mo yung kalaban. Let's see if they can do that.
And Gelo Espiritu is pumped up as well. Rocky Honrade started it. AJ Pareja continued. And now Gelo Espiritu picking up where his two energetic and talented teammates have left off. Winding that up and throwing it down. AJ Pareja on deck to serve. Let's look at the comparison pagdating sa 5-setters.
3 to 2 for well, Systema rather defeated Maybank in 3 to 2 fashion, 5-set match, and Giligans defeated PLDT again in another 5-set match.
Well, the tie will be broken tonight when it comes to 5-setters, as John Depante continues his stellar play. This is going to be important for Giligans not to let Systema get a comfortable lead here in the 5th set. Gelo Espiritu.
And Clamor going to Espiritu, knowing that he is on fire here in the 5th set.
That's good recognition by the setter, like you mentioned.
Going to your high percentage attackers. At this point, what they need is to really get those points in.
Six serving 4. And that one sails out of bounds. Gilligan's catching a break. They won those first 2 sets. They feasted on those faults by the Systema Smashers. Pareja slows that one down. Espiritu from the back line. He has taken over this 5th set.
I think Clamor just really wants to finish this set
Why not go to the hot hand? That's a smart decision.
before he moves to the back. But now, again, you have strong attackers in Rojas and Honrade.
Here's Torres. Excellent dig. Rojas puts it away. Eight to 5, a 3-point lead for the Systema Smashers against the Gilligan Sisig Kings. After being down 2 sets to none, the Smashers have come to life. Rojas has been a definite bright spot for this team. AJ Pareja, Rocky Honrade, and Gelo Espiritu here at set number 5. Looking at the numbers, first 2 sets belonging to Gilligans. Both of them going 25 to 19, and then a close next 2 sets, 25 to 22, and then 25 to 23. And now it's set number 5, a 3-point lead for the Smashers. Just speaks about the grit and effort of the Smashers trying to pull out of this hole.
And, you know, it's really a very good turnaround coming from the loss in the first 2 sets, really taking control in the 3rd and 4th. And, you know, here in the 5th, just really proving how, you know, what they can do as a team.
Fernandez almost. He gets an excellent set for the finish for Roland Tonquin. Look at Fernandez and JP Torres talking to every person on the floor. And a service ace by Roland Tonquin.
The Sisig Kings are saying the game is not yet over.
This game is not over until Ricky Flo sings. 7 serving 8. Excellent net defense for Gilligans. They go to Torres, just short on the attack.
Torres
Sorry,
catching his
miss.
breath.
And yes, he is. He's holding on to his knees now, visibly tired. Honrade on deck to serve. Just too strong. Errors continue to haunt the Systema Smashers.
This is why we said earlier that The fifth set is normally a mental game already. Fatigue will now kick in. And it's a matter of, you know, keeping yourself focused.
Lamor with the setup. They go to Rojas. Challenging Yanni Fernandez at the net. Getting a finish. The fans are actually very tense just looking at them.
Well, this game could go either way.
Yanni with the setup. To Depante. And he puts it away.
Depante with a never say die attitude.
Let's take a look at that one again. Good recognition on the part of Fernandez, spotting Depante at the left flank. Lamor with the setup. Pareja finds the opening.
Systema now 4 points away from closing this match. I guess the hard part for the Sisig Kings would be Pareja is actually in the front line.
Setup job again for Depante. It is a heavyweight boxing matchup. Both players just trading big shots. Pareja, Depante. Rojas, Mabayad. Can go either way. 10 serving 11. Oh, look at the Spirito. With authority.
Playing smart, but really making a statement.
Systema just 3 away from taking set number 5. Don Quinn off the blocker. It looks like we're going to grind it out until the end, and
no team will give it up just like that.
but don't worry, Ann and Ricky, we're all together in this, okay? Sama-sama tayo dito. Honrade flexing his muscles and getting the finish. The Smashers 2 away, taking set number 5. Honrade throws it down.
Early gift for Christmas.
He was inserted during the last 2 sequences here for the Systema Smashers, and he has delivered with back-to-back hits. A timeout called on the floor. Systema within 1 of victory.
Umpisa tayo na maganda. Umpisa tayo, block lang yan. Ha? Walang problema yan. Sige. Atin yan. Oh. Let's go, let's go. Oh. 1, 2, 3.
Will we see another comeback, or will Systema close things out? Rocky Honrade with back-to-back points for the Systema Smashers. The gauntlet has been thrown down. Who will respond for Gilligan's? Match point for the Systema Smashers.
Surprisingly, that was a very calm and a very light huddle for the Sisig Kings, despite being down by 3 points.
And the winner of this game will face whoever will win against PLDT and Maybank. 14-11, match point for the Smashers. And a yellow card will be given out. Here we go. Chris Makasait on deck to serve.
Service good.
And the service goes down the line. How ironic is that in a game where the Systema Smashers committed countless numbers of service errors? In set number 5, the most crucial possession, the Smashers get the victory with a service ace. Signed, sealed, delivered. Victory for the Systema Smashers. We will recap this grinded out affair in just a moment. It was a seesaw battle all throughout. Giligan's taking the first 2 sets, Systema coming back, taking the next 2, and then in set number 5, what could have been a more emphatic exclamation point than a service ace to take the victory for the Systema Smashers.
Oh, that's right, and truly it was a well-deserved win for the Systema Smashers, really coming from behind and winning the last 3 sets of this match.
As we look at the leaderboard here in this game, we saw a lot of heroes on both squads. Depante, Lokyao, for JP Torres, for Gilligan, and then Systema. It was just a total team effort, especially during the last 3 sets when the Smashers woke up and showed that multifaceted attack that we've come to know them for.
That's right, but on top of that, I think one of the key strengths that we really saw for us, the Systema Smashers in this game, was their excellent blocking at the net.
That front line has been devastating for the Systema Smashers, and I know that they're going to be performing really well whoever they match up with in the finals. And the best player of the game is with Ricky Flores.
Yes, I am, James. I am with the best player of the game, AJ Pareja. He had 10 attacks and 6 blocks, totaling to 16 big points. Now, AJ, let me ask you, you probably already knew that the Gilligan's team was going to come at you strong today. So what was your game plan for them?
Yeah, we were really caught off guard by Gilligan's because they really studied us. They studied our rotation, so whatever we were throwing at them in the first 2 sets, they had a response. But come third set, the coaches did some adjustments. They shuffled the rotation. So I think they were the ones who were caught off guard starting the third set onwards. Then just came in that our teammates had a boost of energy and spirit. So in the end, we were able to get the match.
Because somewhere in the third set, I could see Rocky Hondrade in your face. You were channeling your inner angry Rocky Hondrade. So tell us, how does it feel to be the first ever men's team going into the PSL finals?
Well, basically, it's a surreal experience. This PSL tournament is a dream come true for all of us. And to be able to qualify for the finals, no words can explain what we're feeling right now. But expect that we'll still come out strong come our final, so we will be able to inspire more people and, of course, our supporters.
Okay, final question and the most important one. How much do the songs you listen to pre-game affect your performance as a whole?
It's really my pump up ritual. So if I don't get to listen to the songs that I usually listen to, even if I work out in the gym, I'm still listening in my song. So if I don't get to channel the songs that I'm listening to, it's gonna be a bad game for me.
Awesome. Well, very, very, very good to hear that. Congratulations once again, AJ, for our best player of the game. What do you think about that, James?
I think that I've seen Ricky Flo with that sparkle in her eye only 2 times. One with Derrick Rose and now with AJ Pareja. But now, AJ Pareja just did a brilliant job leading his team back. Your thoughts on how this Systema Smashers team is going to fare in the finals?
Well, I think, now they have the confidence, the momentum is really on their side. They've tested themselves and they see what the team can really do despite being down the first 2 sets. So I'm pretty sure coming into the finals, this team will start strong and hopefully what they want is to also finish strong.
It takes a lot of skills, a lot of smarts, and certainly a lot of heart to be able to make it to the finals, and the Systema Smashers have proven that they have all of that. The matches on Wednesday, match number 1 in the women's playoff, the Cagayan Valley Lady Rising Suns going up against the RC Cola Raiders. And then match number 2, the Signal HD Spikers going up against Petron Blaze. And the men's semifinals, of course, the winner of that will face the Systema Smashers, PLDT My DSL Speed Boosters up against the Maybank Tigers here at the Inara Sports Arena in Pasig City. It has been a whale of a matchup. Mula po dito sa Inara Sports Arena, thank you so much for watching us. On behalf of my hard-working and lovely partner, Miss Anne Remulla, Ricky Flores, and the rest of the hard-working men and women of Solar Sports. My name is James Velasquez. Keep on supporting the 2013 Philippine Superliga Grand Prix, brought to you by Solar Sports.